Hi, welcome everyone to this short practice about focus. We're going to work a little bit more with the top of our body today, specifically the so-called crown chakra. And what we're going to use is a blanket, and I have it rolled up already. And I'm going to sit on it. This is option 1, or option 2 would be a nicer one sometimes to prop the knees up on the blanket so you have a little more stability. We're going to start with a short meditation here. Just close your eyes and let your chin drop for a moment. Feel the length in your neck. Feel the natural curve of your spine. So maybe you notice the little bit of curving in around the lower back and then curving out around the mid back again. And then the space between the shoulder blades and a little bit of curvature around the neck. With that natural curve, see if you can lift yourself a little bit higher. So keeping a very human shape, but at the same time lifting up towards your higher self. And then don't stop breathing. See if you can keep your breath flowing and notice the breath ascending from your tailbone up towards the crown of the head. With your exhale, you feel it descending back towards your tailbone. And take a few breaths like this, and maybe you notice your breath will slow down as you do this. And then slowly drop your chin again. And let's get started with a little bit of movement here. So you're going to start seated with your legs out long and your arms up. So you're going to spread your fingers wide, point your toes towards you, press the heels down. Just find, again, a really long spine here in your natural curve, in your natural shape. Now very forcefully, you're going to exhale and pull your elbows down. So you're going to inhale up, exhale, pull. And then you pull your elbows close to your torso. Keep your toes engaged, so keep engagement in the whole body. This is like a moving meditation. And then pull the elbows back and up again, lift up again. Reach high. With your exhale, just gently fold forward. Just drop everything for a moment. Soften your spine, and then start rolling up again slowly into seated. And we're going to cross the right foot on top of the left leg. Doesn't matter where. You can have it on the inside or you can have it on top, depending on what works. See if you can roll back and lift the left leg up just a little, maybe a little bit more eventually as you come into your boat pose variation. Keep pressing the left leg against the right foot. Balance here on your sit bones. Roll back up, straighten the legs. Good job. Let's switch sides. Now the left foot will be on top of the right leg. You can always bend the knee a little bit. And then roll back. Lift the right leg and press it against the left foot. And see if you can keep a tall spine here. Holding a little bit of pressure in the core area, right? So you're working the core here. And come back up slowly. Release the legs, bend the knees. Good, and see if you can roll forward and backward as you round with your toes moving. So you're doing a cat-cow seated here. Inhale, pressing chest forward, exhale, rounding back. Just a couple of rounds, mobilizing the spine. And then slowly hold onto your knees and roll back onto your back. Pull your knees into your chest, maybe stick your nose between the knees, and then inhale, extend to all sides, and exhale, curl back in. Inhale, expanding, exhale, rounding. Take space, hold the knees in. And you can do this in your own time, your own breath. I'm doing about 5. And then hold it. Stretch a little longer and release it. Good. Start to notice your core softening, your belly expanding slowly. And then we're going to start to move the legs a little bit over to the left and cross the right foot on top of the left ankle and take the arms up. Point your toes, and as you exhale, see if you can reach for your toes with your hands. So you're coming kind of into a banana shape towards the left. Legs on the left, hands pointing towards the left. The hips stay in line. And then you move back up with your arms and you switch sides. So you cross now the left leg on top of the right. Move your legs to the right. And your upper body lifts, chin to chest. Point your fingers towards your feet. Maybe look up so you have a little bit of space in the neck. And then extend again. Separate your feet and reach up with your fingers. Stretch out long. Kick the heels away from you. Reach the fingertips away from you. Take space. And then release, soften your arms, soften your feet, step your feet onto the mat again. And then hold your knees from the inside and see if you can roll up like this a couple of times, rocking forward and backward until you reach a seat. Good. Let's try it one more time, and then your toes might touch the mat. Or you might hover them. Good. Open your knees, come into a butterfly pose. Lengthen the spine. And then start from here. Slowly taking your arms behind you. And with the next inhale, lift the hips up. Come into a back bend. Pressing your feet into each other, looking up. And feeling the space in the front of the body that you're creating here. Exhale to sink your hips down. And then roll over your shins, come into all fours. So come into a tabletop position. With your toes tucked. Start by just taking a breath or two. And then start with cat-cow movements. As you inhale, you widen the chest. And as you exhale, you round the spine and you drop the head. Inhale, the front widens. Exhale, the back expands. Slow, steady movement. Almost like a wave, moving from the inside out. And then stop that and extend the right leg behind you. Find space. Kick the heel away. Bend the knee. And now we're going to try and place the knee on top of the left heel. And then lower the upper body, elbows close, into a scorpion. Extend the right leg. Hold that. If this is too much, you can just not connect the legs, right? You can just have them hover. And then press back up. Good. And release your feet. Nice. Take a breath, take a cat-cow, whatever you need. Back to neutral. And then extend the left foot up, bend the knee. See if you can connect the right heel with the left thigh, and then sink forward as you bend your elbows back. Scorpion pose. Hold that for a moment. Feel your arms working. Feel your legs. And then come back up. Nice. And release your legs slowly. Extend and set the knee back down into all fours. Take a breath, take a cat-cow if you need. And then make your way onto your forearms and let's press up from here into a dolphin pose. So now you're going to have the crown of the head slowly moving towards the mat. You're going to walk your feet in a little bit and we're going to change the relation to gravity. So now the crown of the head is actually moving to the mat and you can go forward and back, rock forward and back on your toes. Feel the weight shifting. And you feel the blood flow from your hip all the way into the crown of the head, and maybe a little bit of weight in that area, that central point, crown chakra. Lift the right foot up if you want to, and continue to rock as you bend the right knee. And then from here, slowly bring the foot back down. Take a breath at center. You can always take a break if you need. Otherwise, extend the left leg and rock it forward and back here. Pressing out of your shoulders as you move. Maybe bending the left knee eventually. Again, just feeling the reverse blood flow, feeling the focus, the pressure on the crown of the head. Drop your knees and slowly Stretch out into a puppy pose, so drop your forehead to the mat this time. You can connect your palms behind your head, or you can just have your arms long. Just make sure that you exhale as you let your chest drop towards the mat. So widen the front here. And then release your hands back down. And slowly, slowly press back up into downward facing dog. Take a breath here to lengthen again, and then see if you can walk your feet in a little bit so you can touch your left leg with your right hand, and then pull your chest towards the left, under the armpit. We're going to switch. Now we're going to take the left hand to the outside of the right leg and pull yourself towards the right from here. As the head is still heavy, crown of the head is still pulling down. Bring your palms back to the mat. Lengthen the spine and start walking forward with little steps. Sit back into a wide-legged chair pose. Lift your toes and see if you can touch your heels or your ankles from the outside. Maybe lift onto your toes. Balance here. And then drop the heels and lift the toes again. See if you can straighten the spine a little bit. So can you bring a little bit of space into the front of the chest? And then interlace hands behind you. Pull the shoulder blades back and see if it feels good to come into Uttanasana, into a forward fold with your fingers clapped. And as you can see, I like to shake my head out here, saying yes, saying no a couple of times. Just making sure that the neck stays soft as the crown of the head pulls down. You can see this is our focus today. And then release the hands slowly, softly to the mat. Walk the hands forward, walk the feet back. Press back again, bring your toes together to touch and start lifting the right leg long behind you with your next inhale. Your exhale, you step that right foot through, you sink the left knee down, low lunge. Climbing onto the front thigh as you sink into the left hip flexor, and then lift your arms and grab your elbows behind your head. If you can't grab your elbows, grab your forearms. Make sure you have some stability in your core. As you sink into the hip, the knee stays over the ankle, and then lift the back knee up. Get a little bit of softness here in your legs. Soft toes for sure. Lean back into your arms. And then step the left foot in a little bit. Straighten the legs. Hold on to your elbows behind the back now. Press the elbows against the lower back and lean forward into your pyramid pose. When I say lean forward, that doesn't mean you have to go halfway even. You can go a third of the way and press both hips in line so the right hip is moving back slightly. The toes are lifted. Gaze is down so the neck stays long. From here, we're going to continue and bend into the front knee. See if you can lift the left leg. The back foot lifts or just lightens, right? And then you can let the head drop again. So standing split position. Hold on to your calf from behind with the right hand if that is available. Otherwise, just keep your hands down and see if you can really drop the head. Lift the left leg. It's really not that important how high it is or how bent it is, but just make sure you're lifting a little bit towards the ceiling. And then take a big step back into your downward facing dog. Take a breath and then lift the left leg up again. Step the left foot through between your hands, drop the right knee, climb up, sink into the hip flexor, pull the navel in, find the elbows behind your head, lean back as you pull forward with the knee, so these kind of counter action. And then from here you can start to slowly come out of the back bend, eventually releasing a little bit higher with your back knee. So you're coming up into a higher lunge and find the right leg coming closer as you hold on to the elbows behind the back. Straighten the front leg and lean into your pyramid pose. Pull the right hip back. Look down, keep the neck long. Feel space in the back of the left thigh now. And rebend the front knee as you start to lighten the back foot. Bring your hands down to frame your front foot. And then see if you can lift the right leg and just let your head drop again. So coming into standing split, maybe holding on to the calf with the left hand. So you have to balance a little bit more. And just find stability in your legs as your head drops, as your upper body softens. The lower body is your foundation, in this case, only the left leg, right? What comes up as you hear? Step it back with the right foot into the front knee. Step it back, downward facing dog. And take a deep breath. Maybe exhale out the mouth. And roll forward into a plank eventually. Drop down onto your belly. Let's take a few breaths on our belly. Feel the exhale expand. And then start lifting up the gaze again and bend into the left knee. And see if you can hold on to the left foot with the right hand. Maybe pull that foot up. Lift the right shoulder a little bit. As you look down, your chin might be touching the floor, or you can just hover the forehead. Press up with the left arm and then slowly start extending the left arm behind you. Pressing down with the left palm so that now you lift your left shoulder a little bit higher as well. And then with your exhale, release. Chin to the mat. Start bending into the right knee. See if you can hold on to the right foot with the left hand, pressing into the right elbow. Lift yourself up, roll the left shoulder down. Or I should say back instead of down. And then press up on the right side and extend the right arm behind you alongside your body. Press down with the palm into the mat. And see if that lifts your right shoulder a little bit higher. Back bending here on your belly. Start to release very slowly back onto your belly. Drop the chin. Then frame your chest with your hands. Press up into a cobra as you look down. And then from your cobra all the way up into upward facing dog with your hands next to your rib cage this time. And as you exhale, just round into a cat back. So a very gentle back bend forward fold. And then you can sit up. And then if that feels good, you can round here again. Just to counteract a back bending, you can come into a child's pose eventually. But just take your time. Let the back soften first. Give the back some time to move from one rather extreme shape to the other. And we're going to come into rabbit now. Lean into the crown of the head. Lift the hips. Hold on to the ankles if that feels good. Again, pressure point, crown of the head. Now, if you feel like this is too much, you can roll out a little bit and come back in. Or you can stay here for a few breaths. And sit your hips back down eventually. Shoulders resting. Release your hands. Roll back up into seated on your heels. And from seated on your heels, come into a wide squat so that your heels might be touching, but your knees are wide. This is called frog. We're going to do dynamic Kundalini frogs. So we're going to inhale to widen the chest forward and exhale, lift the hips, and bring the knees parallel again. A couple of rounds. Inhale, exhale. Moving with the breath. Your inhale takes you forward and down. Your exhale takes you up. I'm taking about 5 frogs. And stay in your forward fold for a moment. Catch your breath. Take your hands onto your hips. Stand up from here. Good. Take a breath. Feel your foundation. Let's move into a balance. Hands go on your hips, and you're going to start with the left leg, left knee bends. Take the foot either to the shin or to the thigh. And this is a classic tree pose. Now press the right leg against the left foot and bring your palms together in Lotus Mudra. So you're just going to connect pinky and thumb. The rest is going to kind of expand to the sides. Roll the shoulders down, lengthen the neck, and start to lift your arms slowly as you stretch up towards the ceiling. Balancing on the right foot, open the arms wide. Sink the heel down, and then from here we're going to come into a funky transition. See if you can extend the left leg and reach the right fingertips down. The leg will kick slightly diagonally behind you. If you feel okay here, you can slowly come back up and bring your hands together. Come back into the tree. And from the tree, back down. Nice. Take a moment to breathe, soften. Don't hold any tension after the balance. And let's move to the other side. Right knee's going to bend out. Right foot to the shin or the thigh. Hands together in front of your chest. And you're going to start in a tree. Lotus Mudra, moving up, pinky finger and thumb connected. Stretch up, feel the length of the spine, like we created that image in the beginning of class. And then from that length, take your arms wide. Spread your fingers and see if you can lean a little bit more towards the left as you extend the right leg slightly behind you, hands on your hip. Good, maybe the left fingertips will brush the floor as you kick back. This is a half moon, right? Ardha Chandrasana, just a little bit of a different way to get into it. And then come back into the tree. Slowly bring the foot to the inside of the leg and release. Nice, shake it out. Spread your feet a little wider and sink into a squat, Malasana. Knees wide. Bring your blanket under your heels if you need, if your heels are floating over the mat. Otherwise, you can just keep your feet on the mat. Just take a moment of lengthening the spine. Looking down, neck lengthens. And then turn towards the right and hold on to the right knee with both hands and use that to furl yourself into this twist. And you're looking maybe over the right shoulder. Hands together again, just to find center, and then do the other side. Hold on to the left knee, left thigh, and turn towards the left, gazing over. Slowly move back to center, find your prayer. Drop your hips down, lengthen the crown of the head. And then take your hands behind you, come to sit down on your mat, cross your shins. And let's come back into a short meditation. You can place the blanket under the knees now, or you can sit on the blanket instead. Just make sure that you feel steady in your base. So from that steadiness, you can draw up a little bit towards the crown of the head, finding space in the spine, again, space between each vertebra as you sit here. Your shoulders are still relaxed and your breath is still flowing with ease. Find softness in your face. And then maybe come back to that image from the beginning of this practice of the inward breath, kind of leading you up, leading your spine to lengthen. The outward breath, kind of slowly crawling down the spine, so as if a little bit of light is moving up and down a pole. The breath in yoga is often depicted as light. And if you want to go further from here, maybe you imagine the light coming up towards the crown of the head and even out of the crown of the head, radiating into the universe. You feel connected. And with the exhale, the light and the breath goes down into the earth and connects you here, your foundation. And just stay with this image for a little bit. And crown chakra is a point of unity, of integration. When you're ready, you can start lifting your arms, stretch up, inhale. As you exhale, pull your prayer through heart center. Feel yourself clear, focused, in unity. Namaste. Thank you so much, guys. Have a beautiful day. See you next time.